So when you talk, you mute this.
What do we have to say? Just
so look at you want to grab Chromebooks, because I put the prompts on there. Yeah, of course.
I know. Really? What about mine? Yeah. No, I was like, I asked him like, is this enough skull? He's like, yes. I was like,
Why is it?
What are you doing for your geo thing?
I want Cheetos. You didn't give me Cheetos. My mom threw it out. Oh, what? Your mom's like my mom. She has to throw. That's him. Ah, it's rainbow.
That's tech support.
Same, I got spammed.
Yeah, it's because of you got hacked.
Who?
The tech guy.
Michael?
25 spam.
Right.
Yeah. There's enough money for December. And if it's somebody from our class and we agree on it, I'm like,
Anonymous Mason.
oh, we were thinking that Eddie and Zero.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is.
My name is.
Okay. All right.
So what's up?
Why is there no sound?
What are they doing?
Is this New Mexico?
Can you hear me? If you hear me, give me a thumbs up.
What are you trying to say? Are you trying to?
Can you hear me?
Heavy. My hair is heavy.
Okay. All right.
Are we the only ones here?
No. All right.
Want me to remind me?
Okay, it's quiet. Okay, so good morning and good afternoon, everybody. Hopefully you can hear me. If you just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me again. Okay, good, great. So welcome back and thanks for attending. Please close the door. That since we last talked, a lot of things have changed, at least what we know now, and we're going to kind of talk about it. So this is going to be a three-part exercise. The first part of the exercise is going to talk about your feelings, your emotions, and your concerns on learning the results of the election. What will happen in January 20th when the new government takes power. The second part, so each school will kind of talk about that. The second part will be talking about what you hope and things you think that the next president and the next government should do, whether they should make changes or they should keep things going. then the last thing that we're going to do is kind of talk about activism and about what to do in order to be a better activist as a student and as a person. So what you guys think that we should do as far as activism. So 3 parts. First part, feelings, emotions, and concerns. Second part, what things you hope that the government will do or change or not change. And then third thing is, how can you be an activist? How can you be somebody who advocates for the things that you believe in, even though many of us can't vote or, you know, we're only a small group of people. So I'm going to go around. We'll start with Bonnie's room. If Bonnee, you can go first, and then we'll go to Meridith's room, and then my room will finish it out each question. So let's go to, please mute your mics, and we're going to go to Bonnie's room. So Bonnie's room, yeah.
Okay. All right, can you guys hear us? We're good. Okay. You guys probably don't remember. So I'm Santana.
I'm Max.
I'm Taylor.
I'm Bertie.
We seniors, so I'm Jada.
I'm Trevor.
And I guess my feeling about this, I kind of saw it coming, but I'm still very disappointed about it. Yeah. I was really hoping that Hillary would pull through, but I guess America kind of spoke for who they wanted to be our next president. And I don't know. I don't really know. It's hard to put into words. I mean, obviously when I saw it, it was like 3 a.m. I woke up in the middle of my sleep and I opened my laptop and saw it. And it just it was really disappointing. And yeah.
Basically the same thing. I was like super disappointed. I was really scared. Like as soon as she lost Florida, my mom started crying. It was a nerve-wracking night, and I stayed up really late. And yeah, I'm really scared about what's gonna happen.
I was up at like 2 in the morning watching the election on TV, and when Donald Trump won, I was slightly scared. I was kind of like, I mean, all these people are talking about how he's probably going to do a terrible job, but they didn't really give him the chance to do his job yet. So, I mean, they don't know until it happens.
Speak up. Speak up.
They say that he's going to do a terrible job, but they won't know anything until he actually does something. And I feel like they've already written him off as being a terrible president. My mom was upset. That particular day I wasn't really upset, since the day after the election was my birthday. So I wasn't upset about that. But afterwards I was upset.
I don't really have any thoughts.
He left the call.
Oh, what happened to Mr. Kobe?
I don't know. Should we just go to the next?
Yeah, tell Miss Tilp's class if they can
come back
until we figure out how to get Mr.
Miss Tilp, your class can go. We're ready.
You guys, introduce yourselves, because you're.
That's us.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Hey, I'm Mark.
I'm Justin. Can you guys hear us? Is that? Yeah? No?
I think they
Okay, we're good.
and tell them about our school because they may not remember.
Okay.
So, if you guys don't remember, we are a school in Santa Fe, New Mexico, Capital High School, and there's about 90% poverty within the school as the students, and 80% of the school is Hispanic.
And Mark, tell them what you can tell me.
All right. So here, like, we all come to school, but we all have like pretty tough lives. Like, no matter what we all have to do like a job or something. Like me personally, I do sports. I help out with my mom. I work. I come to school. I keep good grades, and yeah. But we all got to do some type of thing to keep going and stay in.
So your reaction to the election? Happy, sad? What do you parents?
Yeah, and then going on the topic of the our reaction to the election, it was kind of scary. Not even gonna lie, it was like, why is this happening? You know, I tried to stay up as long as I could, but I was like, you know what, I'm not even feeling it, because you know, pretty sure Trump was gonna win, and he did. But the way my parents felt about it was they were angry, really, and you know, I don't blame them. But I think the thing that really screwed everyone up was the third-party candidates. You know, if they didn't have those, I'm pretty sure Hillary would have, you know, taken those votes from them and used that to help her, because she did have the popular vote.
Your reaction and your family life.
All right. My reaction, to be honest, I knew he was gonna win. I don't know why. I just felt it. Good instinct. I go with it. But yeah, like my reaction, I guess I'm young. I can't, like I'm starting my life. I couldn't really vote, so I just had to deal with whatever happened. But my mom, she got sad, and like people, like for example, my whole family's from South America, so like when she makes phone calls with them, they're all sad because they say they can't come no more. They're all scared. They don't know what's gonna happen. So yeah.
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys. That was fun.
I just hope.
All right. Sorry, we have to. So, Bonnie's class, did you guys go? You can't post it if you guys went. Okay. Okay. Then we did your so I guess we'll go. So I'll have the students talk about their feelings.
Okay. Hi. Wait, they can't hear. No, they can't hear. Oh, they can hear now. They can hear. Okay. Okay. Hi. My name is Kang, and my reaction to the result of the election is not good. I didn't think that I could cry so many times in a day, but it was traumatizing, and I didn't think I would get affected that much because everybody, at least in our school, expected Hillary to win. Like every polls that we looked at, everything, we expect her to win on a big margin, and at the end she lost. Florida, Ohio, Pennsylvania, all those states that we thought, even Wisconsin, we thought it would totally go for her, but it turned out didn't, and that makes me sad that how the America that we lived in would choose a president, a candidate that's racist, sexist, homophobic, and everything that a president shouldn't be, and that's just sad to me.
My name is Bonnee, and I am shocked at the American that words. We need to be more progressive, really think forward. Now, what's worse?
Oh, bad.
What's worse? Sure.
Oh, sure. Oh, sure. Yeah, it's supposed to be.
Can you hear us?
Hear us?
Hello?
Hear us? Okay.
All right. So as I was saying, what's worse is I recently found out that my parents are actually
Louder.
I'm dead.
I actually found out that my parents are pro-Trump, which is pretty sad. I tried to explain to them. They didn't vote though, so that's also bad because they didn't vote. But if they did, they would have voted for Trump. So it's good, it's bad. So overall, I'm just shocked at how people could still be so racist in 2016. So yeah.
Who wants to go?
So if you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. We're having technical issues. We'll go on to the next thing, and then we can talk about. Sorry. Yes or no? Yeah. What things you can hope the next president to do or not do? Sorry. But what do you hope the next president will do or not do? We'll start off with Bonnie's room. Bonnie's room, can you guys talk about what you guys hope the president will do or not do for the next election?
I did the chat thing.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about no right now.
I think he's trying to.
Couldn't hear you. Yeah, they can. Keep redoing. What are we speaking on? It is on mute. You said mute. You said mute.
All right.
You want me to text back?
Can you hear me?
Hello, if everyone checks their sound one campus at a time, I think that would be best. So I have unmuted and we will mute back again. Let's Mr. Kubey's class be the next in unmuting. And I see Mr. Kubey has 2 different computers going. Might want to try each one at a time, because I know you will get feedback. And then Ms. Tilp's class, we will unmute you too.
Did I log off? Can you still see us or no?
No. All right. Can you hear me? All right. I'm sorry. We're having a lot of technical issues over here. I apologize. School technology, right? So what the next thing is if Bonnee, your classroom can talk about what they hope the next president or government will do, what policies that they want to change or policies that they want to keep going on. And then Meridith's class, Ms. Tilp's class, and then we'll go. Understand the instructions, give me a thumbs up. Okay.
All right. Turn this on. Okay. Okay. I hope that both Donald Trump and the rest of the government will hear everyone, like, kind of realize that people are kind of speaking on what they want and what they don't want, and what they should consider for America, like what might be better for us rather than what everyone's been talking about, what would be better. the whole Make America Great Again thing. I don't think that's really going to work out too much. But I hope that everyone in the government will like kind of hear out the people's voice and actually take into consideration what everyone is saying.
I don't want him to cut food stamps.
Don't be silly. Don't be silly. This is serious. This is serious.
Go ahead, Tom.
So my name is Jaquil. I'm a junior. And being that the House and the Senate is Republican, I really hope that they don't try the trickle down effect, because Reaganomics didn't work, and it didn't work in 2000. So I don't think it's going to work now, being that it's 2016. The Western market has matured way faster than a lot of people expected, and it really wouldn't be appropriate for them to actually try the trickle down effect.
I do not want him to like cut Planned Parenthood or anything, but I do want him to get some people to actually find better ways to do abortions, because the way they do them now is terrible, and I hate it. I also hope that when they like change Obamacare and stuff, they don't destroy too much of it. They just change it so it's better for the people and not better for the doctors and the people who are getting the money.
Yeah, so I don't really want them to make abortion like something that the state governments can choose, because it will more than likely mean that most states will not be able to, will make abortion illegal. And it's I feel like it's kind of counterproductive to even have that in the first place, because I feel like if you don't want an abortion, then you just won't get an abortion. But if somebody wants an abortion, they should be allowed to have an abortion. It's not. I feel like the conservatives, the Republicans, are trying to force their views and their ideas and moral whatever onto the populace, and I don't think that's right.
Okay.
My name is Lizette. Louder?
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Lizette, and I'm a student at Capitol High. What I'm most concerned about is student debts, that he might raise them, and I would like him for students to go debt free, because you're studying for your career, but what you're actually paying for most of your life is debt from the career you want to study and want to pursue.
That's why she's laughing. Okay, so a thing that well, it's a little hard to change stuff because the House of Representatives and the Senate are all Republican, right? Pretty sure. So you're not really going to get that much of a change if you have a different party president-elect. So it's hard to say what you could want and what you would get. But what I would want, I guess, was I'm not too sure. Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie, because it's right now I can't really do anything to change their minds with my vote, because I'm not, of age to vote yet. But so I'm kind of hoping for the best, It's hard to say.
Do you have anything more? Nikki? Okay, so thank you. Thanks.
All right, you guys, your turn's up. So what do you think that they should change or not change? Who wants to go? So, um, Donald Trump is president. We can't really do anything. It is what it is. So what I was hoping for in a president was progressive change. So when it comes to, you know, free tuition for college or a new path to citizenship, I was really hoping we would get some progressive change and not have someone in office who would just be a conservative and stay how it is. Like all branches of government are Republicans. I feel like we can't make that change possible anymore, and that's really sad for me. So yeah, I just wanted some progressive change, not have to stay the same, because I feel like we're just gonna go backwards. Anyone else want to chip in? Let me see.
All right, let me talk. All right. So I think it's important to realize that change, a lot of things are going to change or possibly change. And, you know, whether you like the way the President Obama ran his White House and ran the country, you might see a lot of drastic changes. A lot of the policies will be changed. So, you know, I guess we have to come up with, if we don't like this, what policies that have been proposed, what are policies that we want to see proposed or what one things. And I've heard some of the proposals that you guys said. So it's important to keep that in mind. One of the last things I heard is, if you can't vote, how can you be an activist? And I think that that's the third question is, what can you do even if you're not a voter? I mean, many of the people in our country can't vote because of they're felons, or they're not 18, or they're not registered because they are not documented. So there's a high population of people that cannot vote. But there's also a high population of people who can vote, who choose not to, and choose to be active and involved in other ways. So I would think that what we should do is talk about this time is, what other ways can you be an activist and get involved casting your vote? Or right now, we have 2 years until the next election. What can you do within the next 2 years to be an activist and to get out the vote in 2 years? So I'm going to let first, and then go to Meridith's room again on what does it mean to be an activist, and what can you do?
To start off with, Science Leadership Academy at Beeber in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. My name is Trey, and so basically, what topic are we speaking on? What does it mean to be an activist, and what can we do if we can't vote yet? Yeah, I want to speak on what we can do, but even if we aren't of age, I feel as though, like, even here, having our voices heard and other things like that will definitely bring our opinions to the public view, because even if we can't necessarily go out and say, oh, I want Hillary to be our next vote for Hillary as our next president, if we speak on why it's important for those adults who are 18 years old and older to go and vote, I feel as though we can be as a motivation, because if the younger generations, especially like 17 and younger, if they are obviously speaking up on the different topics, it may influence the adults as if, okay, if they're taking this serious, especially for their future, take it serious too, because we're the ones that really can make a difference at the time being.
Oh yeah.
Yes, you said something here.
My idea is that we ask other people who are higher up, I guess. Like, what I was gonna do was write a letter to a YouTuber about something, and like, he's actually a pretty popular YouTuber, and tell him to talk about it so that other people will listen to him. And to use social media and other things to get people to listen Yeah, okay.
Real quick, because basically you said what I was gonna say. I think, especially at our age, with something like this going on, we really need to speak up now. The time to talk, the time to like really educate other people is right now. And Taylor brought up a good idea of social media. Obviously, Donald Trump used that as a really good platform for his campaign. So why not use it as another way to educate people and get or point out as like saying it's really important to focus on what's going on right now. You need to go out and do this for your community. Go out and do that. Like we are next up to vote, pretty much. Like the next age of, I guess, group people. Wow, young people. I meant, I guess. But yeah, it's just kind of sitting around and like complaining about it isn't going to do something. You have to actually get out and make your complaint turn into something that could be like taken into consideration. Like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I have to continue this message on, pretty much.
A way we could be an activist is telling people, educate them, like tell them their rights. Now, Trump is not gonna be able to deport thousands of immigrants because he'll put United States in bankrupt. So you could like help them with their rights, tell them what they could do, help them. I guess that's it.
So be specific, like for example, what, minimum wage, legal protections in employment? You say those things.
Like legal protection. How was that?
Yeah, that's like DAPA is legal protection.
No, the other one.
Minimum wage?
No, the other one. The one that help for the legal protection.
Legal aid.
Legal aid. I don't know what else.
Against
So I guess the thing that we could change is fear, really, because so I'm gonna give like a personal reference here. At school, we have a student parking lot. The day after that President-elect Trump was elected president, we didn't have anyone in the student parking lot. And like I said before, 80% of our school is Hispanic, you know, so usually that parking lot is super like full, you know what I mean? But that day after, it was like no one was there because I'm not sure, maybe there's probably a lot of kids that are not documented. So they were like, you know, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna change? Like, they don't have a plan for what's gonna happen from here on out. But we've been like kind of helping each other out. Yeah, exactly. We've kind of been giving people, you know, a shoulder to cry on type of thing, you know, and it's out there. But again, no one knows what is gonna happen to them because it's just, we don't know.
All he's saying is we just gotta stick together. If we stick together, we'll get over it. It's all good. That's it.
Thumbs up. Thank you.
So it looked like, I guess Mr. Kubey's, oh, who's that? No, he's not. So Mr. Kubey's connected. No.
Class is frozen.
Yeah, it's frozen. So it's not, he's not showing up on a computer anymore. Yeah, what should we do with that?
So what are we doing?
So when you get this grade, you gotta get active. You gotta do the right thing. You gotta help
You
each
gotta
other.
stand out.
Yeah.
Right about, you know what? I want to talk about
I don't know.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So you want to go? Okay.
So the question goes to like, how can we be an activist and how can we make change happen? What I would say is, so looking back on like the campaign, I feel like the people behind the Democratic Party were like so corrupt and so just looking out for their own behinds. So for example, what I mean is that they didn't want to put a populist and a progressive person out for their candidate. They wanted to put out someone who they knew they were going to get a job from. So for example, Hillary Clinton and not Bernie Sanders. So what I would say is like, know the people that are behind the scenes too, because I feel like we only pay attention to the people who are like in front of us, and only the people who recognition instead of the people who are like who actually put the candidates up for vote. So like instead of like, just like be more informed, I would say, and like tell everyone, instead of just like walking out and making noise. I would say like getting in it, like being more informed and getting out the word. So more. So do you want to talk about the walkout?
Can I talk about
Lisa.
Oh, the walkout? No, you talk about the walkout.
Okay, go.
Just say whatever you want.
Okay, well, I will say is that maybe it's best if everybody's informed, because if nobody's informed, then that's where fear comes from. And if everybody knows that their rights and the laws that helps them be protected, they'll have more confidence in themselves. They won't have that fear to go out. They won't have that fear that they might get deported or anything. So if everybody knows the laws, the policies, everything made to protect them, then I guess all that fear that people, what Trump said before, will probably fade away, because we know that we're stronger if we all stick together and know everything that helps us be protected and all. So I guess just inform others, inform everybody that are afraid that they might not be able to stay here and all. So just be informed and everything. Yeah.
Okay. So, California is a super progressive state and like super liberal too. And people's reactions to this election, like, they have not been very good. Like, there have been protests like everywhere, in San Francisco, Berkeley, Oakland especially, and then in every single UC campus, so like UC Berkeley, UCLA, stuff like that. And then our Oakland district schools had a walkout recently, and then like they were just chanting in the street, and then okay. They were chanting in the street, and Jesus, I lost my point. Okay, but yeah.
All right, so we have roughly about 15 minutes left. I guess what we can talk about is what we can do on the local level. I think that too many times we think of the national level and what the federal government can do, but what can we do within our cities and our schools and our towns to help protect those people that we care about that might be the targets of a new government, undocumented people, people of faith that are not necessarily in line with our government, or women. So I'll first talk about with Bonnie's class, and then Ms. Tilp's class, and we'll go from there. So maybe just what can we do on the local level?
Did you say global or local?
Local. So like at your school.
Local.
Okay. On a local, I guess well, something I've already seen in Philadelphia, particularly, has been a bunch of protests. I went to one. They've been planned for like the next 2 weeks about. So that is one thing, and I guess what the whole point of the protest was to just kind of like show people how we feel, and Trump did win the vote here in Pennsylvania, so of course Philly, who won Hillary, so particularly the county, we just kind of wanted other people to hear how we feel about living in this state. It's just kind of like, this is not how we feel, this is what we actually feel. So I guess protests work in a sense of kind of like understanding who's around you and who knows what's going on. And then like people that aren't really sure about how they feel, I guess protests are a way to like see how many people stand by one way, like one particular opinion, and it can help them realize what's actually going on. I guess it's more of like on a scale of like clarification for everybody.
I think that we should go to the local lawmakers, the people in charge, like the mayor, the governor, people like that who actually have a say besides the people, because there's only so far that the people can go, as you can tell by the election, since they use an electoral college instead of the popular vote. I think that going to the people who are higher up will help more.
So back to what Santana was saying about protesting, I think like protesting is probably the best way for our voice to be heard. It's the easiest way too. Because like when you're just talking on some blog or something on your own, nobody can really hear you. But when you just have this critical mass of a bunch of people with one goal, just like protest and talk about their feelings about the election, I think that's the most effective way to like talk about like our feelings about president-elect and all that stuff.
And to kind of piggyback off of those statements, I feel as though, especially with the way our generation is set up now, I feel as though even with these protests, we can find ways for the same points that we're making in our protests of us disagreeing with like something about the government or things like that. Okay. I feel as though we can incorporate these same ideas into our like social medias, into our top influencers. So the people who really get recognized for their opinions, if we have our same artists that we listen to every day, if we have our same whoever with that type of power, if they're making the same points that we are in our protests, I feel as though it can have not only a local influence on people, but I feel as though it can be a global influence too.
We're good.
What is it?
You.
Okay. So I guess the thing we could do locally is marches, you know, like big protests. So what I just heard was the 21st of January, there's going to be this big march protest, something about like the Women March, I forgot, honestly. The Lincoln Memorial March. So I guess with that happening, there's going to be like simultaneously happening here, happening your place, all over. So I guess the question I would ask you guys was, do you think these big marches, big rallies help? Do they help anything? Yes? No, you said no.
Okay, so
she's lying.
we're gonna ask again. Go on mute.
All right, I'll let you say your answer because you said no. In the plaid
On the plan.
flannel, yeah.
I said no because, I mean, it's already in. I don't think you can get a president out simply by being upset. Maybe I have it wrong, but I'm pretty sure presidents who are assassinated, they die in office, they are out of their term, or they get impeached. And that's how you get them out. Protesting won't do much, except maybe dig up dirt on him so that they can impeach him.
Okay, so what about the march, Martin Luther King?
So I think marches do really help because look at all Martin Luther King went. They made a couple of marches and he won rights for people. I guess. Yeah, he did. Yeah. Okay, and I think marches will like make Trump and all the Congress people like open their eyes and see what people are really suffering about and look at the problems and how to be able to fix them.
And a thing that would help is it helps get our word as like the people out there. So like if we let Trump or whatever do whatever he wants and we don't say anything about it, then it's just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse. So we have to say like, you know, we don't really want that. Like that's dumb. Nobody likes that. Nobody wants that. So like just a lot of things that he's been kind of putting out there for himself, for his campaign.
What about the newspaper? Write letters to the newspaper.
Oh yeah, you could write letters to like government officials, the newspaper. You could just any way possible to get what you think out there will probably, you know, help. But the thing with that is it has to be a large amount because just no one's going to listen to like one person. But if there's like a big crowd and a big like fussle out of some like nothing, then they're going to be like, wow, maybe people do really want this. Maybe there should be a change.
Yeah. And it's inspiring to young people. I can tell you I've been there.
Yeah, so like my teacher, Miss Tilp, she says when she was younger, it was kind of the same thing with what president was?
Nixon,
With
Vietnam War.
President Nixon. And she said, you know, like when she was young, that it gave her hope. It gave her inspiration that she can go out there and make a difference. It's more of a moral feeling that you get that helps you.
Okay. So protests. Those going back to the Martin Luther King protests, when I saw those were peaceful protests, nonviolent protests. But the protests that I see today are extremely violent sometimes, and like stores and businesses are like collapsed, like they're being vandalized. So protests today are way different from protests back then, because it just highlights how divided we are and how, you know, the divisions and how violent we can be. Yet I feel like protests do have like it's a double-edged sword, because there's a good and there's a bad side. You know, we might have lost this election, but you know, why do we lose? Why do we fall? We fall to get back up. You know, we fall to get back up and we make change. But I feel like if we go to this violent route, we're just dividing ourselves even further. But what we can do on a local level is I like what they said about like giving letters or you know, showing them that we are informed, that we want change, but that if we continue to be violent, then I don't feel like there's they're gonna listen that well.
There you go. All right. So one last thought, and then we have a change for classes. But I guess from our students' perspective, there's been a lot of violent protests here in Oakland, and many of them have been in violence with police officers and whatnot, whether it's BLM or around the Trump election. But I think that going back to what you were saying, if they were organized and they listened to the people that they were trying to represent, because some of our students went to the protests here and they felt like a lot of the students weren't listening to the Hispanic students. They were fighting for the Hispanic students, but they weren't letting the Hispanic students speak. And they felt that that was not the best way to do it if they should be able to fight for themselves. So that was a big issue that some of my students had that walked out. The last thing I want you guys to see, and we're gonna have a change, is that you guys can be activists. I think too many times the millennials are blamed or not participating. But I think that what you guys are showing is that you are participating, and that you are interested, you are knowledgeable, and that you want to continue to do this. So I think what you need to do is, and we all need to do, is make sure that all of our classmates do go speak their mind. And this cannot stop on January 20th. That can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Let me let Meridith talk. Yep.
So, a couple of things I want to suggest. I'm an old gal. And number one, the Dakota Access Pipeline. If you look to Standing Rock as an example about peaceful change on the part of people, look what's happened. The Army Corps of Engineers has halted the Dakota Access Pipeline. Secondly, as one who is part of the anti-apartheid movement, you guys need to look to your religious organizations who know about nonviolence. You need to organize, look to your leaders, and get trained. Rosa Parks was trained, folks, trained. She knew what to do. So you guys have got to listen to your leaders, get trained, be organized, and be nonviolent.
All right, Ms. Tilp. All right. So it happened again. Mr. Kubey ended up leaving, but should I mention that we have to go? Yeah. So since he did leave, I guess we should quickly, because we actually have to switch classes as well right now. We're supposed to be in another class, but yeah, I think this. Thank you very much for coming again. This is a really good.
Say goodbye.
Bye. Bye.
Fun time.
Test out the broadcast.